You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey, and at long last, training camp is finally just around the corner. So here is our Cowboys training camp preview. Now, before we get too far in, if you want a shout-out on a future Cowboys show, be part of the Noti gang. Hit that bell a second time after you subscribe. Change noties from personalized to all, and then type in Noti in the comments section, and we'll do some shout-outs from the first people who do it. That way we actually know you're part of the Noti gang. Some key upcoming dates for the Cowboys camp, preseason, etc. July 27th, the first practice. Reporting day is on the 26th. Final Oxnard practice, August 10th. A joint practice then with Denver on August 11th. The first preseason game, August 13th. A joint practice, August 17th, and they have a game against the Chargers. And then August 30th, final cut-down day, the true end of the preseason. We're going to break down a bunch of different stuff today, beginning with the top players to watch. And first up on my list is linebacker Jabril Cox. And I am very curious to see if he is indeed healthy. You will see some players, namely Michael Gallup, begin training camp on the PUP list. It is a formality to ensure if you're not 100%, they'll put you there. So in case you don't get healthier, they can put you on the PUP to begin the year. Otherwise, you're out for the entire season. The report from Brian Broaddus is that Cox will be good to go on day one of Cowboys camp following his ACL tear last year. I hope that is the case. I want it to be the case because I want to unleash Cox this year. Hashtag Cox out. Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, Jabril Cox, those are supposed to be the top three in terms of your linebackers because beyond those guys, you've got no real NFL experience beyond special teams. That should be a pretty big red flag for you. So the Cowboys are banking on Jabril Cox. If he is not healthy, they might look quickly for some veteran help at the position. Our pin question of the day, and I want honest answers here, my friends. How excited are you for training camp? Rate this for me 1 to 100. 1 being not at all 100 on the high end there. I am excited. Football is finally back, but I want to hear from you, the people and the watchers of the Cowboys Report. It's the pinned comment, so if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and rate how excited you are for Cowboys camp. Tyron Smith next up here, and this is pretty straightforward. Is he healthy? Tyron Smith always misses time. There's a bump, a bruise, the back tightened up, the neck was sore. When healthy, he is dominant, but he's always hurt. I want him to get through, if bubble wrapped if necessary, camp in the preseason with no major concerns. I want him out there, but not hurt, if that makes sense. Next up is Jalen Tolbert. I think you'll see Gallup begin the year on the PUP list, which is fine. Not the end of the world there. 4 weeks for the regular season now, by the way. But Tolbert is going to start a receiver. Gallup's hurt. It's going to be Lamb, Tolbert, and probably James Washington. If not, either something very bad or good has happened. Probably bad with Tolbert and good with another guy emerging in the end. / Washington, probably not good either. I believe in Tolbert. I loved him coming out of South Alabama. I want him to make a lot of chances in terms of the preseason and camp and build that chemistry with Dak Prescott. I don't want little minor bumps and strains and whatnot. Because if he's missing time, that's reps you don't have with your franchise QB. And you need those reps early and often. To defense again we go. And that is Kelvin Joseph, hyped as a possible breakout candidate, but also I think is facing a pivotal camp. He had, of course, the problematic off-the-field stuff this year. He was banged up throughout last year's preseason and camp. He needs to be out there, to get reps, because he's barely played football the past 4 years. We're talking like less than 1,000 snaps in 4 years. Crazy small number. And I don't know if this staff trusts him right now. And the best way to earn that trust back, do everything right in camp and the preseason. If not, it's a big-time red flag there. The plan when the Cowboys drafted Joseph was for him to be a starter this year. That is not the plan right now. because Anthony Brown played great, Lewis played well, and Joseph hasn't earned it yet. But he can earn it this camp and this preseason. Joseph is an answer to this question. Who breaks out for the Cowboys this year? I am on board with Cox out. Hashtag Cox out in the comments section. But who do you think ends up emerging as the Cowboys' breakout player? Drop a name or names for me in the comment section. How about Tony Pollard? With Gallup hurt, there is no doubt in my mind that Tony Pollard, at minimum, is one of your top 5 playmakers on offense. He needs to get the ball in his hands. And if that's not happening, I'm going to be angry at Kellen Moore. Again, be angry again at Kellen Moore. He's too talented, he's too dynamic, and too productive to not be involved with your offense. So please, let's see Pollard being a key part of the Cowboys' offense in camp in the preseason. Finally, well, it's Dak Prescott, right? I know I'm cheating, Sam, but I'm also right. The Cowboys need Dak to stay healthy and play like he did in the first half of last year, where he was an MVP caliber quarterback, like a top 3 guy across the NFL. The back half of the year, top 15-ish. Not bad, but not enough for what this team needs. No more calf issues, no more shoulder stuff. He claims to be in the best shape of his life. Prove it, because the Cowboys are relying crazy heavily on Dak Prescott this year. All right, some roster battles are up next here. We're going to begin at left guard, the starting left guard spot, where this is the one we're going to overreact to the most, I think. On day 1 of camp, where does Tyron Smith line up? Is it going to be at left guard? Is it going to be at left tackle? Is he going to get both? Is Connor McGovern still your starter? Because at OTAs and minicamp, McGovern, who couldn't keep his job last year, was left guard 1 over Tyron Smith. He's your first-round pick. There could be a scenario in which you don't want Tyron Smith starting because McGovern's so good, but if he's not starting, I'm going to be concerned. I'm going to be confused and troubled. He was your first-round pick. You reached on him based on the consensus boards and whatnot. If he's not starting, I'm going to be a bit worried there. So pick a week 1 regular season starting left guard for me. TS for Tyron Smith or CM for Connor McGovern. Number 2 defensive end is next up here, as we know Tank Lawrence is edge number 1, and you're going to use Micah Parsons as a hybrid player. But your other quote-unquote starter, it's a bit more up in the air. Dorrance Armstrong, I believe, is the favorite. Not everyone agrees with me. Dante Fowler could push for a key role there, given the Dan Quinn ties there. Sam Williams, second-round pick, another one of Dan Quinn's guys. He could emerge as a role there. Where does Chauncey Golston play? Who gets the most snaps, and who gets the most reps on passing downs? That all remains uncertain. Now, when the Cowboys make moves, we break it down. When we do stuff like this training camp preview, we've actually gone more in depth on the roster battles and cut candidates in the past. So, make sure those notifications are set to all. That way you don't miss out on any news here at the Cowboys Report. All right, back to our defensive end question. Who is the best of this group? Who is your quote-unquote starter from a snaps perspective? DA for Dorrance Armstrong, DF for Dante Fowler, SW for Sam Williams. Next up is the depth defensive backs. For the first time in a long time, I feel great about the safety depth chart. I think the following players are roster locks: Diggs, Lewis, Kearse, Hooker, Brown, Joseph, Wilson, and CJ Gordon as a special teamer. That leaves Deron Bland, Israel Mukuamu, Tyler Coyle, Marquise Bell, Nashawn Wright, all fighting for a spot that might have one or too many names on there. So if everyone's healthy, you might have to cut a pretty good player, or at least try to see him on the practice squad. That's rare, and it's going to be something worth watching given the fact that Bell and even Tyler Coyle made some big splashy plays at minicamp/OTAs. Punt returner, talk about that a lot too. Don't forget on kicker either. Greg Zuerlein, bad man gone. At least two-man race. Liram Hajrullahu, Sam, you like that bad man gone joke, huh? Yeah, I've said it before. Bad man gone. Once Tom Brady's gone, bad man gone. Lirim Hajrullahu is option 1A, or maybe 1B. And all-day Jonathan Garibay, I think, is the favorite to win this job. Who do you think, though, actually ends up being this team's starting kicker? I'm going to go Garibay, but we know that both guys are, I think, have real shots at the gig. LH for Lirim Hajrullahu, JG for Jonathan Garibay. We're going to get some cut candidates here in a minute. But first, remember, the rules have changed. The cut date deadlines and the numbers are going to go to from 90 to 85 on August 16th. That's the deadline. 85 to 80 on August 23rd. And then final roster cuts are due down from 80 guys to 53 on August 3rd. Here are some of the more notable names, probably more so for that August 30th date, more so than the August 16th and 23rd. We begin with the most obvious cut candidate, Terrell Basham. He's a backup-only option defensive end, and the Cowboys save $1.75 million of the $3 million due. Unless there are injuries, I would be surprised if Basham made the team. Lawrence is going to make it. Armstrong's a lock. Sam Williams' a lock. I would be shocked if Golston doesn't make it. You'll play Micah at edge 2. Leaves Fowler or Basham. You save more by cutting Basham. So unless Fowler sucks, I think Basham ends up being the one who gets cut. I want you guys now to name a player who you think gets cut. Notable names only. No one cares if, Aaron Shamklin gets cut. That doesn't move the needle at all. But big names only who you think gets cut before the regular season. Next up, wide receiver Simi Fehoko. And this wide receiver depth spot is a fascinating battle. Lamb, Gallup, Tolbert, Washington, I all think make the team. Noah Brown has the advantage because of special teams value. That leaves Fehoko, Vasher, maybe even Dennis Houston, trying to earn that last 1, maybe 2 spots, depending on how long Gallup is out for. Fehoko has the size, the speed, the flashes, 5th-round pick. He has to earn a spot this year. And I don't know, unless Fehoko and or Vasher prove they can play special teams, if there's going to be room for both of those guys on this Cowboys team. The popular answer to the question of who gets cut, Tristan Hill. It's a numbers game. Osa, Gallimore, I think are guaranteed roster locks. I think Bohanna and Ridgeway are safe. That leaves maybe Carlos Watkins trying to hold off Tristan Hill. Watkins was way better than Hill last year. He has been unquestionably, at this moment, the best case outcome is that Hill impresses in the preseason. You go either, okay, we can keep him, or maybe we trade him. The Cowboys would save $1.16 million with that move, but I have no faith in him, frankly, as a player. The name I didn't think we'd have on here is Josh Ball, but the buzz from Broadus and Belth, the killer bees as I call them, is that Josh Ball's not looked very good, folks. The weight room habits and the practice performances have not been good. Matt Waletzko appears to have jumped Josh Ball on the Cowboys depth chart among the offensive linemen. But not only that, Avante Collins has flashed a bit more than Josh Ball. That's concerning. So in the end, I still think Josh Ball makes this team, but he is definitely someone to keep an eye out for, given his off-the-field hit issues in the past. If he does not play well in preseason and camp, Cowboys might make a move to cut him quicker than I ever thought that they would.